The Stealth Arms Platypus. Something that's interesting that everyone has already talked about this gun. However, I am learning about a lot of things for the first time in my ownership of it, so I thought I'd make a video. First of all, when you spend good money, you want good presentation. So what speaks of good presentation better than Cordura? Yeah, $1,800 gun, and you get a Cordura bag for it with a zipper. So that being said, hopefully it's one of those things where I have heard from the people at Colton Smith & Wesson that have said, when you're spending all this money on a box, you're losing money on the gun. So maybe all the money went into this gun. What makes this gun cool is that it combines this with the features and things that you get from a gun like this. This is a 15 plus round polymer gun. This is a 1911. If I were to fuse these together and I were to take the fire control system, the slide, the barrel, and the barrel bushing, as well as the grip safety of this gun, but make the grip wider and make the gun able to shoot common magazines, you end up with the Stealth Platypus. There are guns that are 2011s out there that have double stack magazines. This Platypus is nothing new. Stealth Arms actually started out as an 80% company and ultimately started deciding that they were going to build their own guns. Now, I really didn't have any particular love for Stealth Arms or the 80% manufacturers. I really do like their triggers. This trigger actually is a Stealth Arms trigger in the T-Sauce gun, but we'll get into that in a moment. What makes this gun great is that it takes Glock magazines. This is a modified Glock magazine. It holds 17 rounds plus a couple, or at least with whatever this extension is. But I can now carry a great big old gun with a light, with an optic, with an extended magazine, and it can be super accurate and easy to fire like a 1911. I already have showed you a gun that's very similar to this. This is my M18, and one of the things that this gun has is the ability to do almost exactly what this does, except it still retains some of its polymer features here. It's a little bit smaller, and it has a striker system and a little bit cheaper optic. This is a cool gun, and I've showed you this in a couple of videos. This is a very, very tuned up version of that idea. This is a Magpul PMag 27 GL9 magazine. And what we have here is the ability to carry a lot of ammunition with you. You couldn't get a stick mag if you wanted to. They have 35 rounders and things, but this is about the longest I would consider going. This gun is cool. Now, a couple of the features I think are important to notice is that just about everything up here is all 1911. It's got a couple little features and cutouts. It's got front slide serrations, fiber optic front sight, and it had a fiber optic rear sight. I have changed that out for the Holosun 507 C, which I think is fabulous, and I'm absolutely enjoying its clarity and its usage. I love looking through this through my phone because the dot is so clear, but when I look through it with my eyes, because of my astigmatism, it's this big blown out starburst. But this is great. It has this little backup sight that comes with it if you decide that you want to go ahead and mount an optic on there. Ambidextrous safety on it. Now, one of the things I do want to talk to you about is that, obviously, let's make sure we're safety checked here. When you do have this safety engaged, depending on the size of your hand and where your hand fits in there, I want you to look and you see this little L shape, right? This is where the safety goes in and out. If you have chunky hands like I do, you're going to possibly suffer squishing some skin in there. That's the one complaint I really have about this gun, is that when you go off safety, it does that. That being said, is it really that big of an issue? No way. This is a 5-inch barrel 1911, and it shoots 9mm. This has a 2-piece guide rod that is removed with this little Allen key here, or this little Allen inlet. It has a crowned barrel, reverse crown here, that is just over 5 inches. What you also have is an all-metal frame. Staccatos have a frame that has a top part, and then it's got a grip. Now, you can change out the grips for different ergonomic things, or you can change them for different, modularity needs. However, if you order Stealth Platypus, you just get it the one way. This one is equipped with their magwell. And so one of the things that you will see with this is it's got the skeletonized trigger. You can ask for a certain weight of the hammer. And this one, it's a 3.5 pound trigger. This one is a fairly stock pistol. There's really been nothing done internally to it. One of the cool things that you might see is that the feed ramps in this have been already polished. The action of the gun is great. I've never ever had one single failure ever, and I've probably got maybe 400 to 500 rounds through it. And I know that's not very much, and I'm going to tell you why here in a moment. I got this on sale, this Surefire X300 Turbo. I got it for sale at Palmetto when they had it for like $200, which I think was a great deal. It fits so well. And you may see I do have a short that's available of me actually trying to show you. It looks like it's touching. It really does. But what's cool about this is that I can show you it's not touching by slipping a piece of paper through there, right? You might even be able, oh, there you go. You can see some light through it. It looks like it's touching, but it just tucks up right up into the front of that so perfectly. It just makes the gun feel so good, and it balances well, and it shoots faster with the weight on the front. Do you use the X300 Turbo for a whole lot other than than just occasionally using it as a sight or whatever? Because it's so bright that there's a lot of people that just won't use it. And also, it's when I say use it, I mean that they may not use it in certain technical situations because there's a whole long conversation about that. Although that being said, I like it for using the fact that it can use a little bit of weight in the front to keep the muzzle down when you're rapid firing. And also, it can give you a little tiny dot of aiming area that at under 3 yards can be used almost like a weapon-mounted laser in some sense, where it can actually help you aim without aiming down the sights. So suppose that you're in a desperately bad situation and you are able to have the light on or the light's already on, you can use that to aim. Because if you have any experience with using red dots on a pistol, it can be kind of hard to reacquire that sight, especially during rapid fire scenarios. So what's cool about this, though, is that these front sights will co-witness, which is great. And so that if this sight ever does go out, I can still use the front fiber optic sight and this very minimal rear sight. Skeletonized hammer. I bet you there's a lot of MIM parts on this, to be perfectly honest. I wouldn't be surprised at all if that's the case. However, I don't see there being any problem. This gun is really well built. The machining and everything on it is truly exceptional. One of the things that Stealth Arms offers that's really cool is you can have a lot of Cerakote done in different areas and on here for, really no extra charge. You do end up having to wait some time. I got this one from a local dealer here. My story is that he had 2 of them, and I got to pick which one I wanted. So what I found was the one that had the least movement in the frame at all, and ultimately a fabulously slick gun that just runs and runs and runs and runs. And after all this time, it has very little wear on anything on the inside. There's very little wear on the bottom of the slide after 500 rounds. I've seen a lot of guns that needed quite a bit more break-in after the first few hundred rounds. These guns are just ready to go, and I think that it really does show. This grip, though, I will say, if you don't have large hands, you're probably not going to get a lot out of it. It is nice and grippy with this chain link grip texture here. They do have a couple that are much sharper. I would not recommend getting those, especially with any of their nastier designs, or their bigger calibers that shoot a little bit hotter than 9. But it is nice and flat here in the front, and then the bottom here allows me to dig my pinky in and really help maintain a lot of control with the gun. You can get this gun in a 4-inch. If I was going to do this gun in a 4¼ inch, I would probably not have the magwell on the bottom, and I would probably have a much shorter light. And I think, honestly, if I was going to carry, I may not use a red dot sight. I would probably use the fiber optics. It is so damn accurate. One of the reasons I don't shoot this gun a lot, and I know that this sounds like I'm embellishing, it sounds like I'm just complaining. I'm not complaining, and I'm not just putting you on. The gun is actually kind of boring. This gun is on a different level of ability. right? And so, one of the things that I've said is that, you can take a basic gun and you can shoot it well. You can take an exceptional gun and it will take every little bit of your ability and maximize it. That's what this gun does. I don't know if it really compares to a Staccato or an Atlas, but the people that I have talked to who have all of those guns say that this is very comparable, and really for being half the price of its comparable Staccato, I think that you're getting 80 to 90% of what the Staccato would give you. I would trust this gun with my life. I've never had one single issue that I would worry about. Now, after 3,000 or 4,000 rounds, maybe I'll have a different idea, but there's nothing that this gun has shown me other than extreme accuracy and extreme reliability with any type of ammo. I'm talking 115, 124, 147, plus P, different types of things. The point of aim or the point of impact is negligibly different with each different type of ammo. In fact, we even loaded some different ammo, mixed together, and I was still shooting dimes with this thing. A lot of that is assisted by this optic here, which makes it great. But if shooting a 1911 with its awesome single action makes you a better shooter, then a gun like this is going to take your skills to the next level. One of the issues that I have with it, though, aside from the safety right here that bites my hand, the size. This gun cannot be carried anywhere. I have seen a couple of guys that have gotten these interesting rail adapter things that move the sight down another half an inch, and there's a rail click in, and then they just click the gun into that, and that they carry a full-size stealth platypus. That is the only way I've ever seen anyone carry this gun. It is just that big, right? Let's just compare this to a GX4 carry, which is it's a popular gun. It's about the size of a 365 XL, and so but just look at that. I mean, these are so much different, in a smaller gun like this. And I think that one of the things that you might also compare it to would be your 4-inch 15 rounders. This would be like your Glock 19 or your regular M18. This gun is just bigger. It's just so huge. And that being said, I have literally the biggest pistol light you can get and an optic on it and a 27-round magazine. The idea, though, that I'm trying to express is that even with the regular old 17-round Glock 17 mags, the gun is still big. Now, this is something, too, that I think you really are going to have to look at. One of the things that you'll need to know is getting magazine extensions or longer mags is probably pretty important, because this mag well ends up being very flush with the bottom of the Glock magazine. You will have to palm it in. That's something that you'll have to do, with most flush fit guns. But let's just say, that you have a little bit of material here that you can just kind of do one of these and slap a magazine because it has an extension on the bottom. This one, you're actually going to really have to extend your palm out to make sure it gets in there whenever you load this gun. Honestly, though, if you're shooting in competition, you're probably using extended base pads like this, or you're using, longer, mags like this. When I go to the range, I like to shoot this P-Mag because I've been interested in these Glock P-Mags and I want to see if it'll ever fail. So far, it never has. But with a factory magazine, yeah, you really got to, flex your hand and get that sucker up in there. I find it much more easy, and I can even have it with just open palm my hand, my fingers, which is better for a competition. So if you are shooting this gun in a competition, having a base pad is going to be really important. So, but it comes with regular old Glock mags, right? These are steel line Glock mags, 17 rounds. Anyways, though, based on everything that I have done here, this gun shoots so stupidly accurate, I get bored with it, and I feel like I'm just wasting ammo, right? I feel like when I go to the range, there's really no sense in me attempting to spend more time with it, and then I feel like I need to use my ammo to practice with guns I'm worse at. So imagine having a gun that's just so good that you just put it away and you go, man, you're done, we're good. I could take this out into the nastiest pit of hell, and I know that I could hit what I aim at. So that's just one of the things I love about this. If anybody has any questions, I would love to try to give you any feedback that I do have. I think that one of the things that we can do as a gun community is just try to help each other out and be useful and be helpful with each other instead of being standoffish and rude. So I do encourage everybody, if you're watching this and if you've gotten this far into the video, to just remember that our love of firearms can be picked up by other people. And so sometimes we can spread more joy and more positivity through the firearms community by just sharing, by taking people out, by not getting into heated political debates, and just having fun and just showing that this brings us joy. And this is one of the funnest hobbies you can have. So I appreciate everybody for spending time with me, and I wish you all the best of luck.